Thank you, and thank you all for being here. I'm not going to delve too much into the funding issue. We've covered that. I will say this, as far as the CPI and the so-called smoothing, I think it's absurd. That's a financial snapshot of the current situation. We should be taking it for the year that it is, not rounding it or smoothing it for an 8 to 10 year average. I think it's absurd. But moving on, back to an issue that was brought up before, the healthy meals for all. We made steps, but not enough. We didn't get there, which is, again, a shame. How many New York school children are still going hungry because we did not fully fund all meals for all?
Yeah, I don't, it's specific to how many children in total, but, if we look at, and I think under our deputy, the nutrition issue is critical, and obviously we know that the issue of many children, particularly in the urban centers and some of the rural places, that is the case. So we are very much alarmed about this issue of, when we have children that are coming to school and this is the meals that they depend on, and education, obviously, any of us that are sitting around being hungry when you're trying to focus or whatever, it is a critical crisis, and it's an essential part of educating our children, feeding our children, making sure that they are nutritionally healthy is key. And the fact that we are we're a little bit less than half. I think we're trying to get to 302 million would be feeding all of our children.
How far off are we?
We're off about, I think, 180. Yeah.
So
I think
currently,
182.
we would need 125 million in order to completely provide universal free meals for all students. Currently, our community eligibility provision program is feeding and making free school breakfast and lunch available to about 86% of students across the state.
Yeah, we can give you the exact number because we've done the analysis of it.
That'd be great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, switching gears, Commissioner, you just a couple of minutes ago, I kind of wrote down the quote. I hope I got it exact, but parental involvement, you were talking about parental involvement, is needed in any school, any district, or even society. Well, I'm having parents that are a little concerned because we've heard for years we need parents to be more involved, but when they try to, they feel like they're getting shunned a little bit. For example, with the vaccinations, and I'm not going down the rabbit hole of good, bad, or indifferent, but medical exemptions, even those are a little bit difficult at times, we're finding, but got rid of the religious and philosophical exemptions. Any sign of those coming back, giving parents a little more control over the health of their children?
Well, I think, the idea here is that we all collectively are engaged in laws that are in place, right? Vaccination. And greatest society looks at, right, these are the things that are in place in order to protect our children. I think that the dialogues are essential in understanding, because sometimes you and I know, whether it's media or whether it's, to your point, belief system and all of that. So, while we have the exemptions, while we have ways of addressing these issues, going back to your point, parental involvement doesn't necessarily mean that you end up with, consensus and agreement and all of that. And for our school districts and our state, we follow the law.
Sure. I think it's a lot of them I've heard from, and it's not just about the vaccinations. It's about certain materials that are available in school, in some of the libraries. They feel like they're not being heard. And I'm finding from district to district, it varies, where maybe it shouldn't. Maybe we do have to have an overall policy that is pretty concrete, that can be followed, so that parents feel like their voices are being heard. I've witnessed some in some districts, and I won't name names, where parents have just been shut down completely. Yes, and then shut down, and that's it, and nothing happens in their favor. I think we need to open things up and get more parents more involved by listening to what they have to say. Not necessarily agreeing, but at least listening.